Hi, my favorites. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is Favor Fashion House. So in today's video, we're going to be learning how to cut and sew these two pieces. This is a skirt and a top. The top has a belt sleeve and also feathers. The one at the right and the left is the inspiration, while the one at the center is what I recreated. So if this is what you love to watch, please stay to the end of this video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, God bless you, and please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And also, if you have any question, please do not forget to write it down on the comment section. Let's get straight into the video. So this is the fabric I'm going to be using. This is crepe fabric. I'll have about 3 years here, but I ended up using only 2 years of fabric. So I went ahead to fold my fabric into two. I'm going to be cutting the down parts first, which is the skirt. So how to get the accurate measurement to fold your fabric is by dividing your hip by 4, then adding your allowance. So this is me coming down by half an inch. That is going to be my starting point, but I'm going to be removing 2 inches for my waistband. Okay, the length of the skirt I'm using is about 17 to 18 inches. That is the length of the skirt I'm using. So that is what I'm marking out right now. If you don't want your skirt to be this short, you can still extend your own line. Okay, so but this is the length I want mine to be. And also, guys, I want to apologize. I never knew that the chalk was not visible enough, and that's why I was using yellow chalk, so that it can be visible. It wasn't visible enough, but I'm so sorry. But I will be able to, I will try my possible best to explain to you guys. So this is me marking from my waist to my hip. I also minus the 2 inches. Okay, then I mark my hip line. I connect i connect the line with a ruler. After that, I'll come on my waistline. I will input my waist measurement divided by 4. Whatever I have, I'm going to add extra 1 inch allowance for sewing. This skirt, looking at it, this skirt, it does not have any dart, so I'm not going to be adding any dart. So I came to my hip. I measure my hip divided by 4, added extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. So the measurement I have on my hip, I measured it and I put it on my hem side. So I connect the whole lines together from my waist to my hip. Okay, then from my hip to the hem inside, the length of the skirt. So after that, I'm going to be cutting it out. It's just very simple. This is just a simple skirt, a simple short skirt, or should I call it a simple mini skirt? Okay, so the next I'm going to be doing after cutting it out is to place this fabric on top, this skirt pattern on top of the fabric again, so you can cut out the back. The only difference the back has is just the zipper allowance. Every other thing is the same. Okay, so just place your front pattern on top, then you use it to cut out your back pattern. So for the zipper allowance, I use about 1 inch allowance. Okay, for the zipper. After cut, I'm going to be notching where the zipper is going to start from, and where it's going to. I'm just going to be notching that zipper allowance. So let's go straight to the top. Now to cut the top, I'm going to be coming down by half inch also, which is going to be my starting point. Okay, my starting line, also known as our shoulder line. So from that line, I'm going to be measuring the length of my top. The length I was using here is 17 inches. Yeah, but I'm using 17 inches because my waistline is about 15 inches. I just added 2 inches. But if your waistline is 15 inches, you should add at least um 3 inches, okay, or 4 inches or 3.5 inches just for it to come down. So from that shoulder, I also measured my bust point. Okay, I measured my bust point and I rule everything out. this is my shoulder measurement divided by 2. But what I did here is, instead of my shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 7 inches, yeah, but I use 8.5 inches because this top, looking at the picture, the sleeve came down a little. All right, so that's why I'm using 7 and 8.5. So the neck width that I'm using is 3.5, and the neck depth I'm using is, for the front, is 3 inches, while the neck depth for the back is 1 inch. So I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, then I'll connect it to my neckline. So from that shoulder slope that I came down, I tried to measure my armhole. I noticed that it's on my bust point. So I just leave it just close to my bust point. I decided to use my bust point as my armhole. Bust measurements. Okay, my vertical measurements. My bust divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch allowance. I also find the midpoint of my armhole and I connect my armhole line. So what I did was my waist measurement divided by 4 plus extra 1 inch allowance. So I'm going to be cutting everything out. So first of all, I'll be cutting the back neckline. So I can use the front piece to cut out the back piece. Okay, because the back is almost the same thing with the front. Just the difference is the zipper allowance and the neckline. That is just the difference. So right now I'll be cutting out my front neckline, as you can see me doing. I also adjust the armhole. I cut out the front armhole. So this is the back piece, another one is the front piece. Now what we're going to be cutting out is the sleeve. So I mark out my starting point, then the length I'm using for my sleeve. What I use about 22 inches for my sleeve. Then what I did, I measure my armhole, as you can see me doing there, my armhole measurements. Then I just decided to curve everything. The sleeve is very simple. It's not a fitted sleeve, yeah. So the only thing you just have to do after connecting your armhole, you just have to cut it this way. The down part is going to be more free than the upper side. So there is not much work on the sleeve. So now the next I'm going to be doing is to cut my facing for the front, because I want it to have I want to use facing for it. I don't want to use bias. I want to use facing so it will have a very neat finishing. So I'm going to be cutting the front facing and also cut out the back facing at once. So after cutting out everything, the next I'm going to do is to start joining. I just iron the fabric so that it will be more straight. So I'm going to be placing the two back together and I will stitch it down all the way down. Then I'll give it a very neat press. So now I want to measure where I want my zipper to get to. So I also minus the 2 inches for the waistband and then I mark it out. Then I'm going to be stitching all the way down. I'll do the same thing on the front back. For the front back, I measure where I want my zipper to get to. My zipper did not get to the end. Okay. My zipper, I just stopped at about 1.5 inch allowance. So that is where I stopped at for the zipper. So this is the front facing. I'm going to do it that way. Place the front side facing each other, then I'll stitch it, I will turn it and top stitch it. Then I'll use a hemming gum to gum it very well. So this is for the sleeve. I'm going to be folding the down parts. So after joining, this is how the back piece is looking. I also join the facing at once, and this is how the skirt piece is looking also. I've not joined any zipper yet for it. And this is how the front piece is looking. I use hemming gum to gum it down so it will stay in place. For the front skirt, there is nothing to work on. So now I'm going to be joining the shoulders together. So I'll use one of the facing to turn it, then I will stitch it. So after joining the shoulders together, this is how my top is looking. So what I'm going to be doing now is to trim out the excesses for the armhole. That is what I'm going to be doing right now for the two armhole. I find the midpoint of my sleeve, I notched it. Then what I'm going to do, I will face the front side facing each other at that shoulder side. As you can see me doing, I'm going to pin it down. Then I'll stitch it all the way around. So after stitching, this is how it's looking. So now you can see it's still open. Yeah. So now I'm going to be after stitching this joining the sleeve with the top. This is how it's looking. Now the next I'm going to do is to install our feathers. So how to do this is there is one white, I think white rope, or I don't know how we'll call it, that is inside. This is me cutting out the excesses. So that is what I'm going to be stitching on top when you go to your machine. Okay. So this I'm going to be placing it. I'm going to do like three of these. I'm going to be placing three. I'll place one down there, then I'll place the second one, then the third one. That is I'm going to do, because what I use is about 2 years, I be 3 years. I use about 3 years of feathers for the two sleeves. So after I'm done, this is how it's looking. This is three lines. Each of them is three lines. So now I'm going to be closing it with 1 inch allowance. First of all, I join my armhole together to make sure it's aligning together. I pin it down. Then I use one. Remember that what we added is just extra 1 inch allowance for sewing. Yeah, so I'm going to be using that 1 inch allowance to stitch everything down. So guys, I'm going to be making a separate videos one of these very soon. I'm going to be showing you guys how to, stitch your feathers on your fabric and have a very neat finishing. This is for people that maybe want to start selling online, you want to start selling, selling all those kind of top online, and I also show you guys a hack on how to insert your feathers on your fabric without any obstruction. So please watch out for that video. It's going to be uploading very soon. So guys, after stitching it, the next I'm going to be doing is folding it with 1 inch allowance. Okay, but there is something I later did. I later lose up the 1 inch allowance, then I use bias to fold it because the length of my top is not that long, so I don't want it to be hanging. So next I'm going to be closing my skirt with my measurements, my waist divided by 2, my hip divided by 2. Whatever I have on my hip, I'm going to input it on the length of my skirt with extra 1 inch allowance. So that is what I just did. Then I'm going to measure from this point, that zipper point. I'm going to measure around my waist, this waist of my skirt, so I can cut out the band for it. So I measured it round. Okay. Folded fabric into two again. I measured the length. I added extra 2 inches allowance. Then the length of my band, I used 2 inches for the length of my band, but I ended up using 2.5 half inch for sewing allowance. Notch it to get the center point. I also get the center point of my skirt. There are different ways to insert your darts, but first of all, what I'm going to do is to first of all I'm going to stitch in my zipper. Then I will start putting my waistband. So this is how I'm going to be stitching this waistband. So I'm going to close it two side. Then you see the next thing I'm going to do after closing it two side. I'll fold it this way. Then one of the zipper side of this skirt, I'm going to insert it inward. Then I'll start stitching it. There are different ways to, there are different ways to put your band, to insert your band on your skirt. I'm going to be doing a separate skirt tutorial very soon. So guys, please do not forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. If you have any question, please put it on the comment section. Thank you. After that, this is how they are all looking. This is the skirt and the other one is my top. It came out so good, so fine. Guys, I so much love it, honestly speaking. So guys, thank you for watching. This is the final look. This is how it looks on my body. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye.